Florida was bittersweet. On one hand, I was heading back to the ADK where I wanted to be. On the other, it was a daunting task ahead of me living on the side of a hill for 4 months. Spent the night in Christiansburg, just outside of Roanoke, Virginia. It's really foggy. It rained a good portion of the night, but it should make for a spectacular sunrise over the mountains. In New York State, at the Welcome Center, Cooper is loving the grass. Coop, what do you think? It had taken less than 24 hours to reach New York, but I was finally at my brother's place in Ithaca. This place is idyllic. A 1.5 acre apple tree farm with natural plant life, wild birds, and wild animals. His home sits near a beaver swamp, so at night the sound of the crickets and water frogs is almost deafening. For the few days I was there, I helped him work on his basement, and I even had a chance to test out my new trail cam. This trail cam will be put to good use when I get to my property. There's lots of deer and other wildlife that roam the 27 acres. After a few days work and rest at Matt's, it was finally time to head up to the Adirondacks and set up camp. Last year in November, it got so cold that touching the floor with my feet in the morning, even in thick wool socks, would give me the chills. So I was determined that that wouldn't happen this year. I laid down bubble foil insulation. I rolled it out and secured each end with a single staple. These would be removed after I trimmed it off around the tent. The entire sheet was then connected together using Gorilla Tape to make it secure. This will fold up like a floor and be stored with the tent at the end of the season. Hopefully, this will make a difference as far as penetrating cold and heat through the floor. It's hard to explain how hot this day was. It was in the 80s, probably 83 to 85, and the sun was beating down out of a bright blue sky. Taping this metal foil insulation together was a lot like being one of those hot dogs that you see in a gas station, rotating under a light over tin foil. I love this white duck tent, but the buckles and straps that they put on this bag to carry an 85-pound mass of canvas were extremely weak. Not really well designed. First thing you have to do when setting this up is you have to figure out where the door is. That's easier said than done, as you'll see. The tent is a 13-foot diameter regatta bell tent with 8'6" peak at the top. That's a lot of canvas. There it is. These staples will hold. When I built this deck, I attach D-rings all around in the position where they need to be in order to clip to each corner of the tent. It's an octagon, so it's a bit odd shaped, and it's on a square deck. But I was able to position them so that with some bungee attached, you could easily put the tent in the same position every single time, just by clipping the D-rings and the carabiners together, theoretically. In order for the placement to be perfect, you have to spend a little bit of time sliding the tent around, getting the door placed properly. Unfortunately, I didn't do that right this time. The tent is a little bit far back from the front edge, which causes, when the tension goes on the door, causes it to pull. This can easily be avoided by zipping the door closed, which I told myself before I set the tent up that I needed to do, and then in my excitement, completely forgot to do so. I just want to get the bulk of this cut off because this reflective material in this direct sun is crazy hot. I pulled the camera back here because I wanted to do a real-time setup of what it takes to set this tent up. You can see here the first step is to get the center pole up and attached. After that, there's a single door pole that gets inserted and then a rubber rain cap attached. I'll take the rain cap off later when I add the awning and then replace it over the top of the awning. This keeps water from dripping down through the entry to your tent. The remainder of the construction is just pulling up the guy wires. I also found that adding stakes at each corner, I use maple stakes that I cut from the property underneath the attachment points for the guy wires, keeps the walls straight up and down and keeps the tent from sagging, especially when it gets wet. Canvas can absorb a lot of water, and so making sure that it has every opportunity to stay upright is important. Before you can place the guy wires though, and put tension on the tent, you need to move the center pole in order to get the rugs in. I have two rugs in this tent. One that goes on the bottom at the bathtub is an indoor-outdoor carpet. Last year, because of the cold, I also invested in a 9-foot round plush carpet. I really wanted this to be an entire recording of the tent process, but unfortunately my camera had other ideas and the battery once again died because of the heat. I haven't been posting, but I have been busy. I installed a solar system and a battery system to power my off-grid home so that I can work. I installed Starlink to get broadband internet on the side of a mountain. I also purchased an internet repeater thinking that the router Wi-Fi wouldn't be strong enough, but surprise, surprise, it actually was. I upgraded the shower, increasing the size of the walls, adding a door, a bench, and other improvements. I built some furniture, including a picnic table, in order to make my life a little bit more comfortable when I'm working and eating. I did the impossible and improved the perfect outhouse. And thanks to my trail cam, I was able to snap a shot of my new arch nemesis. What looks to be a 50-pound raccoon with a taste for bread. I recorded these projects, and over the coming weeks, I'll start to put videos out again. Thanks for your patience. Like and subscribe if you want to see more from this channel. This property and the improvements I make to it are a work in progress, but at the end of the day, it starts to seem like home. Welcome back to the 80K.